All right, you guys, we are at the mall. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anna. I document my expat life as an expat wife living here in Southeast Asia. I also used to do travel vlogs back when we were able to do that. Health, fitness, lifestyle, my nursing adventures. So if you're into any of that, please go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. And so yeah, so what I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to talk about my experience here in the Philippines during quarantine. I have obviously been very closely following what's going on in the US, and of course I am getting information from friends, family, and news sources. It's very different the way the US is handling this COVID as opposed to what's going on here in Southeast Asia. So with the quarantine, we are under different stages of quarantine here in the Philippines. We were under enhanced community quarantine where almost everything was closed, no exercising allowed, only one person out per household. If you wanted to exit, you had to use your barangay pass, and you had to show it everywhere you went or else you weren't allowed in. And then also the condo would not allow you out unless you had the pass. So only one person was allowed to go out at a time. That was very isolating. Dogs weren't even allowed to be walked. So now under modified community quarantine, my husband and I are able to go outside together, walk the dog together. So some main differences that I've noticed here as opposed to in the US is here the masks are mandated. Since the pandemic lockdown happened, there has been an instituted curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. No one is really allowed out unless you're an essential employee or worker, but that is still going on. We're still on an 8 p.m. curfew, which from what I understand, there's bars open in places within the US. So that is an extreme difference that we've noticed, is that they're instituting a curfew and it's very strict. My husband went to walk our dog just the other day and it was right around the 8 o'clock mark, and they didn't allow him to exit even though they knew we were just going right outside to allow our dog to use the restroom. So yeah, it's pretty stringent and enforced upon. Like, the rules are mandatory here. Another thing that I've noticed is that restaurants here, they're open for takeout, but there's no places where they allow you to congregate outside. All the chairs are gone from even the 7-Elevens they're put up. The restaurants, none of them are dine-in, they're all takeout only, and in some cases the restaurants won't even allow you inside. They'll meet you outside, take your order, and then they'll go inside and then get it ready for you and for you to pick up and take out. The modified quarantine, the things that are open is obviously more restaurants. I noticed that the hardware store is now open, and then of course the grocery stores, which have been open. There are also some banks that are open on a very small amount of skeleton crew. So I have noticed the city is picking up in busyness, but it's definitely nothing like what it normally is, and I'm very interested to see what it'll be like under the general quarantine, because public transport will be allowed and I'm sure everyone will be getting back to work, so it'll be interesting to see how that works. But also under the modified quarantine, we're still on a citywide shutdown, meaning that if I were to try to go to another city, they would not allow it unless I had a work permit, which I do not. So there's essentially no traveling allowed. You have to stay in your city. Now, the Philippines has had very low rates, but they also have low amount of testing. Less than 1% of the Filipino population has been tested. So the lack of testing leads me to believe that there is a high amount of coronavirus here. It's just not being documented. And then you also have a lot of people that are disenfranchised, and maybe they don't have access to medical care unless they're extremely ill. So it's hard to say if what's going on, if what we're doing is working, especially in a highly condensed city such as Manila. But here's that masks are mandatory, people are using lots of hand sanitizer, people are respecting social distancing. All right, so we're waiting in line at Santi's Deli. It looks like recently they've opened Pancake House. You can see people waiting there. Then I have Anthony, who is infringing upon my
6 feet.
Yes. So this is the line. The chairs are the stand markers, and they only let a certain amount of people in, no face mask, no entry, and then they also check your temperature and sanitize your hands when you come in. Hey guys, so I just want to share what's going on and how they're handling things here in the Philippines and what they're doing in response to COVID. So we've been in lockdown for over a month now, and from the local government to all the residents here, they are giving this COVID relief assistance bag. So obviously we're going to be donating ours to my clinic where I go, but I just wanted to show you guys what's in here. I haven't even seen it, so I'm interested to see what it is and see what we're getting. So they're getting some white coffee. This is a Filipino favorite.
Some areas they're giving out a kilo of rice and sardines. Similar to that, I guess.
Okay, so we're also getting some tuna. So this would be nice. Rona loves this. I hope they have spam in here because she loves spam. Corned tuna, yeah. Pork and beans, and then we got some ramen and some oil. Okay, some oil. And then we have some detergent. So I guess one bag is food, and the other bag is detergent and soap. And toothpaste, dish soap, and some more soaps.
Rice?
What concerns me is that, you know, in one household you can have quite a bit of people here especially. And yeah, so this is the relief. Alright you guys, we're officially in GCQ and it has definitely picked up along the city. I actually rode a taxi for the first time yesterday, and it was partitioned off as I see most of the vehicles are, so that was interesting. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed this experience. I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and go ahead and give me a like and subscribe.